So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today we're going to be talking about Dollar General's big payout to settle an EEOC lawsuit. This one is frankly quite stupid. It was out of the Bessemer, Alabama facility, the distribution facility. And this is where the rubber meets the road with respect to good HR. Although, to be honest, I'll be honest, I think that safety probably has a big impact on this one specifically, the safety department. But when employees went to work, they did a pre-employment medical exam at the distribution center there in Bessemer, and they had to discuss things like talk about past and present medical conditions of family members, such as cancer, diabetes, heart disease. I'm guessing that they were inherited and quite old. Not a significant amount of time ago, people were asking these questions just to start work. They were asking all sorts of very personal questions about a person and their family members. However, it's not in vogue now for very good reasons. But the EEOC said that the Dollar General was using qualification criteria to screen out qualified individuals with disabilities. And so they did things like take back job offers if the blood pressure was too high, 160 over 100, or they didn't have perfect vision. And these didn't have anything to do with the job itself. And there is a world where you can ask these questions if it is directly related to the job, and you can deny people jobs if it's directly related to the job, or at least figure out how to, accommodate them if possible. But that's not what they did. They just set a specific task and then didn't have any sort of process for accommodating them if they can't do it. And then, we're setting them two tasks that have nothing to do with their job. It doesn't matter if someone's blood pressure exceeds a certain amount with respect to distribution centers. And that's why I get the impression that the safety department was heavily involved in this. I personally have had run-ins before where I've had to stop safety from doing some tests similar to this because it wasn't related to the job. And typically, or quite often, they're the ones who own these types of discussions. And so, who knows where the blame lies? And it, frankly, ultimately the blame lies on Dollar General for going forward and greenlighting things like this. They should be doing regular audits of their practices, their hiring practices, and onboarding practices, and they're ultimately to blame, regardless of the specific department. So the EEOC filed a suit against them in the Northern District of Alabama, and they sued on behalf of 498 applicants who were required to divulge family medical history. And then, in addition, another class of qualified applicants whose job offers were rescinded based on their impairments. And so ultimately, they discontinued the practice, which is common sense. Surprising it took that long, because they did it after the lawsuit was filed. The EEOC had already, set the stage by giving them the notice. As a result of this, Dollar General has to review and revise its ADA policies and GINA policies and distribute them to all individuals. And then they must require their medical examiners not to request family medical history, which I cannot imagine. It's absolutely insane to be asking that for a distribution center job. I mean, these people are, generally speaking, driving forklifts or pallet jacks, potentially some sort of other motorized vehicle. It doesn't matter what their blood pressure is. It really doesn't matter what their eyesight is and what level it is. And it certainly doesn't matter what their family or anyone surrounding them is doing. So when you're asking questions about family members, that violates GINA, which is the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act. And then when you're eliminating employees as a result of medical conditions that have nothing to do with the actual work involved and not making accommodation offers as a result of the work that's involved, that's a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so the Americans with Disabilities Act, from the regional attorney, Marsha Rucker for the EEOC, said it protects job applicants from being denied employment because of a disability as long as they can perform the job with or without accommodation. Employers cannot deny employment solely based on stereotypes about the abilities of individuals with certain impairments. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Was this too little? So, I mean, You had 498 that were required to divulge a family medical history. It was, I imagine, everyone that was been hired and everyone that was rejected. I don't know how many job offers were rescinded. I imagine it wasn't high, but you know, 50 plus. So at the most, you're talking 550, maybe 600 people received 1 million in settlement, and I'm sure it was much less ultimately, all things considered. But is 1 million too little? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.